The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is a massive project set to not only enhance transportation in the country, but also contribute to the GDP. And flood threat, all eyes on Kogi State as nine local government are at the risk of disaster. Our correspondent takes a look at the vulnerability of the agricultural sector in this perennial disaster. And in Umuahia, scavengers turning waste to wealth, creating job opportunities for themselves and others. Hello and welcome to the Correspondence this week. As usual, there is something to be learnt, but only if you stay through. I am Zenred Dingmoon, and thank you for joining us today. Let's begin the program with road infrastructure. Now, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, a giant leap towards eco-friendly infrastructure development, is a massive project that will not only enhance transportation in the country, but also contribute to the GDP. In this report, Lanre Gbeleyi takes a look at the merits of this road construction project and how it will shape the future of infrastructure development in Nigeria.
The 750 kilometers Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is a brainchild of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The highway connects 9 states across the country, creating trade integration, easy movement of goods and services, and reduction in commuting hours. With other massive significant infrastructures around the coastal highway, Nigerians and other users of the road will experience smooth motoring.
It is a great honor for me and pride to have this sense of fulfillment standing before you to commission the completed part of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway corridor. This is phase 1 section of Ahmadu Bello Way, 700-kilometer iconic project spanning the coastal areas of Ogun, Ondo, Delta, Edo, Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and Cross Rivers states.
The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is one of the boldest infrastructural investments in our nation's history. And it is so much more. It's more than a road. It is not just a road. It is projected to contribute up to $12 billion annually to Nigerian GDP in its first decade by connecting 9 coastal states, linking major ports, and unlocking key trade routes. This highway will drive growth both in agriculture, in industry, in tourism, and marine commerce.
We should also talk about the carbon credit that is retained in this road. Let's start with the obvious, the concrete pavements that I'm standing on right now as my cameraman is taking the shots. This concrete pavements, research have shown that it's very good for coastal roads. It's the best for coastal roads. Why? It is resilient against salt water and any water. Because of its durability, it will also participate in driving or mitigating the ocean surge being experienced by the coastal areas in Lagos State. And apart from that, do you know that the concrete pavement also absorbs CO2, it absorbs carbon dioxide, and it also has a traction. So cars plying the road on this pavement will use less fuel. There's less burning of fuel, and that's good for the environment, burning less fuel. And it's also recyclable, that it reflects sunlight. It does not absorb sunlight unlike the asphalt. This is why solar light is very good on concrete pavement, because it reflects the solar light, a little bit of light, and the whole place is lit up.
Every tolling point that we're going to have a relief station where you have supermarket, small clinic, you have towing vans, you have parking lots for cars and trucks, and so on and so forth. And we're going to have trees all through the route, and of course solar light and CCTV.
With the inauguration of the first section of the coastal highway by President Bola Tinubu, stakeholders are optimistic that Nigerians will benefit from the renewed hope initiative of the present administration.
Now, Lanre Wele joins us via Zoom to shed more light on the economic importance of this giant project. You're welcome to the Correspondents, Lanre.
Thank you, Zimo.
Okay. Now, let's begin by you elaborating on the impact of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project on Nigeria's infrastructure development.
Well, the economic potential of this road is just enormous. You can't start to explain the importance, the socio-economic importance of this road. Let's start by the first obvious one. It's one of the first road that is that's taking a different part. During colonial times and post-colonial times, we have this structure of road around the country that is being planned post-colonial and colonial times. This is the new one, built by Nigerians and built by Nigerian engineers, along Nigeria's potential economic realities. And another thing is that but before they construct about 50% of this road, immediately before the 50% of this road is constructed, I'm not saying everything, you start to have what we call enhanced trade. It is already creating employment in that area, and it will stimulate regional development in that area, and it's going to promote tourism, and that's just 50%. And it's going to support oil and gas. You do know that the seventh axial road, or another name given to that seventh axial road, is the deep seaport road, the access road, is connected to this Lagos Calabar coastal road. And with that, movement of cars, trucks that are carrying fuel from from Dangote refinery will move towards that area, towards that axis. It won't go through Lagos State to other states. And the beauty of it is that it connects about 9 states. So all of the 9 states are connected also to other states in the country. And the economic potential is just there, waiting. And before we move further, you know that before this road was constructed, that area is along the sea coast. There are hotels there, there are hotels there, motels, Holiday Inn, Bar Beach, a little bit of the Bar Beach, private bar beaches. And with this road, this thing is going to skyrocket. Estates will spring up along that area. And the minister said one thing again. He said there'll be a tolling system on the road. And that tolling system will not just be a tolling booth. It will also have what we call a place for people to repair cars, mechanic workshops, and for small scale businesses, and flea markets too can develop along that route. The economic potential is just too enormous. And right now, even with just 30 kilometers completed out of the road, shops that are not there before are starting to spring up in some areas there. And people are now envisaging that, look, when this road starts, this is what we are going to do. When this road starts, this is what we can do in the air. So the economic potential is just enormous. And we've started seeing them, although it's not profound, but you can see that people are now making steps to tap into that road and for their economic gains.
Well, this is quite impressive, and especially its connectivity to 9 states. Now, let's talk about the durability. Were you able to converse with the minister or the contractor on its durability?
Well, you see, the durability was the first thing that they talked about before making those roads. Yeah, if you recall, there's been during the last administration, during the now President Tinubu's administration in Lagos State, and even he started it, they always use asphalt. Asphalt in many areas in Lagos that are close to the sea degenerates quickly. So to change that narrative, they started using reinforced concrete pavement. Reinforced concrete pavement, engineers know through their researches know that it is very resilient towards salt water, towards water. It doesn't retain water like asphalt. It reflects it. And with 12-inch thick reinforced concrete pavement, it's going to take a lot of trucks. It's going to take heavy-duty vehicles, and they've thought about it, and the durability of this reinforced concrete pavement is just there. It's just there. The engineers are saying, look, I was there. I was there when some foreigners came from South Africa, from Europe to come and check on that reinforced concrete statement. And they are very impressed with the thickness of that reinforced concrete pavement. And yeah, like I said, I've said it in several of my reports. Reinforced concrete pavement is the best for coastal roads. You can't use asphalt there because asphalt always absorbs moisture, while concrete pavement reflects and is resilient to moisture. So the durability is just there. They've thought about it and they've done it. And that's what they're going to use all over the 750 kilometers of the road till it reaches Calabar.
Oh, good to know, Larry. Okay, before we let you go now, just let us know what is the perspective of commuters having, seen some parts of this road being completed.
Oh, look, Zared, I don't know how I can picture, how I can explain it in the few times that I have on the program. Let me first tell you the funny thing. The road is not open to the public yet. It's just 30 kilometers that we all recall that the president came to, commission 30 kilometers out of the road. Even that 30 kilometers is not open to the public yet. Why? Because they are going to plant trees along that route, and planting of trees is strategic. Yeah, and another thing is that they are trying to mitigate ocean surge into that road. So they are sand filling along that route. So with all that going on, they've not admitted people to use that road. But there are people living around there already. And whenever I talk to them that what is this road going to do, they will say, can't you see? We are using the road already. Although they are not allowing us to use it. We are using the road stylishly already from one end to another. Some of them are saying we don't even need to go into Lagos to get to our area. We are using the road. And do you know the funny thing? Small businesses are starting to spring up. Businesses are, before they start constructing the road, some businesses are like, oh, the business is done. There's nothing we can use. They are now decided to stay, re-strategizing on ways to tap from the goodies that this road is going to bring to them. So commuters are like, look, this is another pathway for it will solve quicker logistical problems from one state to another. You can live in Ogun State now because it passes through Ogun State, Imo State, Edo State, Ondo State. You can be living in those states and be working in Lagos because you move from there using that axis. And apart from that, the road transport workers are eager to use that road. People will travel. You don't need to, for example, somebody going to Cross River State, somebody going to Ogun State. That's that part of Ogun State. Instead of that person going through Lagos, the almighty Lagos-Ibadan expressway, they are now going to pass through that route to their area. So it's like people are eager to say, okay, they are itching to say, okay, whenever this road stops, wherever it stops, or whenever they open it, we are using it. They are not going to wait till it's finished because it has a lot of potential for us commuters to use. Zared.
Thank you so much, Larry, for finding time to give us this insightful information on the impact of this massive project. And we hope to see you sometime soon on the program. We'll now take some messages. We'll be right back with more reports.
Fellow Nigerians, this period may be hard on us, and there is no doubt that is tough on us. But I urge you all to look beyond the present temporary pains and aim at the larger picture. All our good and helpful plans are in the works. More importantly, I know that they will work.
Welcome back. And now to flood disasters. Kogi State is bracing for another year of flooding, with 9 flood-prone local government areas at high risk. Now, in this report, correspondent Salman Ayedin examines the vulnerability of the agricultural sector in the face of this perennial disaster and the potential impact on the state's economy.
The confluence of rivers Niger and Benue added to the annual release of water from Lagdo Dam in Cameroon remain factors behind the perennial flooding experience in Kogi State. In 2012, 2018 and 2022, the flood was massive, destroying many things on its path, especially in the 9 flood-prone local government areas of the state. Houses were submerged, farmlands and livestock washed away, even as sources of livelihood of the people completely destroyed. Agrarian communities in local government areas, especially Ibaji, known for yam and rice production, was 100% underwater, while Kogi Cotton Karfi witnessed massive destruction of rice farms.
Are you talking about the farmlands that are wasted, economic crops, food crops? Are you talking about income generation ability? Are you talking about houses that are submerged in flood? Are you talking about the roads that are cut off, economic activity? So in terms of quantification, we're looking at billions of naira.
The community has started witnessing hunger. The economic activities are dwindling. Their presence in the economic field in agricultural sector is beginning to also diminish, because what they produce, live with, and living with, and show up agriculturally or show up the economy of the country and the state particularly, is beginning to be affected very adversely.
Against the backdrop of NIME's prediction of yet another flood this year, anxiety is in the air in Kogi State, prompting early warning sensitization by relevant government agencies, educating farmers on cropping mechanisms to avoid flooding. The state government says it is leveraging the past experiences and early warning signs to activate and build people's resilience, not only to mitigate the expected flood, but also to reduce its impact, particularly on the agricultural sector of the state economy.
The species of crops that the maturity period is just within 3 months, and with this counting already. By next month, July, people that farm around the coastal area, they would have harvested their crops. So as such, there won't be much effect. The only areas who may be having effect is on our infrastructures.
With the perennial flood in the state and the country at large, which affects wet season farming, experts are calling for dry season farming as practiced in other countries to sustain food security.
If you have good irrigation system, you have water supply adequate, you are able to select your crops very well, crops that are drought resistant, and you're able to manage yourself very well. What are the benefits? Many. Number one is that we're going to have all year production of crops, which ordinarily you cannot do in wet season.
As the season begins, it is hopeful that stakeholders will work together towards mitigating the impact of the impending flood, particularly on agricultural activities to further enhance food production and sufficiency in line with the renewed hope agenda on food security.
That's correct, Solomon. Effective flood control mechanisms as well as disaster risk reduction and management plans, in addition to collaboration with the relevant agencies to prevent and respond to flood, will go a long way to mitigate the disaster. Thanks for this report. And in the heart of Umuahia, the Abia state capital, a quiet industry thrives. Behind markets and beside gutters, scavengers, also known as waste pickers, see opportunity and survival where others see only filth and waste. Now they dig through trash, not just to make a living, but to keep Umuahia's streets cleaner, the environment safer, and economy moving. Ifeoma Ndokoli shares the story of these ordinary Nigerians who are making a difference in their own way.
Scavenging, often dismissed as a nuisance, is now turning into a lucrative and respectable venture for many individuals in Nigeria, especially in Abia State. These informal waste collectors, once stigmatized, are now at the forefront of a growing recycling economy, cleaning the environment while also making a living for themselves and others. Across major dump sites, streets, and market areas, these men and women pick up plastic bottles, containers, and other recyclables, which they sell to middlemen or directly to recycling firms. The demand for these materials has surged, and so has the income of those bold enough to engage in the trade. Around the central dump site, very close to NTA Umuahia, are two dedicated scavengers, Carlo Azuma and Arize Obichukwu, who have built their lives around what others throw away. And today, they have different success stories to share.
Presently, I have about 28 workers. Least of them receive 38,000 naira per month. My driver goes home with 172,000 naira per month as well. Buyers are always there for us to come and give them. Whatever thing that we mobilize, you can sell it at will.
I have other people that I pay. I can let me say that I can make up to a month like 200,000, but I can't work it only myself. Other people help one way or the other to see that thing will come up. I use it to pay pay both my school fees of my family, my children.
Henry Nnadozie is a dealer who transports plastic containers to commercial recycling hubs.
No food for a lazy man. Any person when want to live, go, do something to see, say, he chop. So Nigeria now, nobody dash somebody money.
Beyond the money, the impact of these scavengers is deeply felt. They help reduce environmental pollution, unclog drainages, prevent flooding, and reduce the pressure on government waste management systems. Like every other business venture, scavenging has its own challenges.
They should give us enabling environment. Today you will see people coming down from ASAPA. Next tomorrow you see people coming down from environmentals. The next day you see people coming down from health. All of them are coming to TASO for the same revenue.
Communities are slowly beginning to recognize their importance, and there are calls for government and private organizations to support and formalize the trade through training, safety equipment, and recognition.
We are getting them to make sure that all that they pick are properly reused, recycled, and rebuilt. So we want to see a situation where nothing comes out of that place as a waste.
We need to more like do an enumeration, which we started, know who is who, put them in groups, give them IDs, and then be able to provide a framework for them to work.
In a society struggling with unemployment and environmental degradation, maybe it is time we looked at scavengers not as jobless wanderers, but as eco-warriors shaping a better future.
Quite impressive, Ifoma. As the saying goes, no food for a lazy man, and this is a call for action, for people to take responsibility and rise to the challenge. Meanwhile, it's also crucial for government and health agencies to provide the necessary support and protection to these workers. And with this report, we wrap up the program this week. We hope to see you again same time next week. From all of us, it's bye for now.